Hi, I'm Jackie from Absolute Corporate Events and now Absolute Digital Communications. And today I am talking to a long-standing friend, Pete Groom, who I've known since 2008. He was originally at World Hotels. He was very young then, I think. And then he went to Morgan Hotels. And then I worked extensively, I think, with you, Pete, when you were at Fairmont. I think we went to every European Fairmont hotel, as well as some of those in the US. And now he has a very fancy title at ALHI. So I will hand over to the very suave Peter Groom to tell us a little bit about who he works for and what his role is.
So yes, as Jackie said, Peter Groom, with Associated Luxury Hotels International, or ALHI for short. We are a global sales organisation playing in the luxury market, so we represent just over 250 luxury meetings and incentive-focused hotels globally. We started out as a business in North America. We've been operating for over 32 years in the US. We have 26 offices in total, with most of those being in North America. I handle the European regions, so we have offices in London, and we also service the German, Swiss, Hungarian, Polish, Austrian markets out of an office in Budapest as well. So we've been in Europe for about 4 years now, after successfully operating in North America for a number of years.
Yes, and I think that's quite a good point, actually, because you're quite knowledgeable about the US and you have a large contingency of venues there. So do you have any insight as to what's happening there? Because it seems to be a lot of different rules in the US to the UK.
Yeah, so I mean, it's such a large country, obviously.
Yeah.
And the state, it varies from state to state. So I mean, overall, we're seeing a lot of positive trends happen in the US market. I think the main benefit they have is in most states is the opportunity to travel. So there aren't so many travel restrictions as we perhaps encountering in Europe between different countries. So yeah, it varies from state to state, but we're seeing in a lot of states that meetings are successfully happening. For example, we've held about 5 meetings over the last 8 weeks. So we had a meeting in we had a meeting in Atlanta in Orange County 2 weeks ago, so 60 people and 50 people. And then we had a large event happen in Texas for 125 people and over 900 virtually in August. So it's great to see that kind of those events happening.
So, I guess because there's quite large properties in the US as well, so they can socially distance. And I think the 2 destinations I work in a lot is New York and Miami. In fact, I think the last time we were sharing a cocktail, it was on Miami Beach. So I'm back in Miami actually in May. We have a large event, fingers crossed, really hoping that it goes ahead. And I am hoping to go and see the Biltmore again because I believe it's had a massive refurbishment, 25 million or something.
Yes, had a large remodeling. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Jackie. 25 million. That's absolutely right.
Kept that.
done your research.
No, I just know the Biltmore, so I think they sent me some information. Yeah.
Yeah, in Florida, we're seeing, we're hoping, with what you were saying about the larger meetings. I mean, our CEO, there's a meeting taking place in Orlando actually this week, Connect Meetings, which is an industry event, and I think there's just over 1,000 attendees there this week. Mike, our CEO, is speaking there today. So, we are seeing meetings happening safely, and Florida is one that had probably easing of restrictions that we saw probably back in June, July time. So they've been able to operate meetings in that particular state.
Yeah, and you've got quite a few hotels and venues in the Nordic regions as well, haven't you?
We do, yes. We've got Copenhagen and Gothenburg are two main cities where we have some very large convention hotels. So the Gothia Towers, which has just over 1,200 guest rooms and a very large convention space. and Copenhagen, the four properties, the luxury properties of ARP Hansen Group, so the Tivoli Hotel and Congress Centre, and the Copenhagen Island Imperial and the Phoenix Hotels. So we're seeing, you know, I think Gothenburg, they have meetings happening at the moment for 250 people, as well in Copenhagen. I think Gothenburg was going to go up to 500 as well. So, you know, I think the rule makers and the government there have a slightly more logical approach to how meetings and events can happen safely, because, you know, I think the space there with 250 people, you know, 250 people in a phone box probably isn't very good, but in a ballroom that can sit, you know, 2,500 people with social distancing, it would, you know, it seems safe.
Yes, and I know you and I are lobbying again together with a lot of other people in the industry to try and get the government to understand this, because there's a lot of freelancers out there, a lot of event people that do logistics and safety as a living. So if anybody can manage an event for 1,000 people safely, it's this industry, isn't it? And with these large spaces, we can socially distance, we can still operate. So it's quite frustrating, I guess, isn't it? And such a shame for so many people that are not currently working. And it's not just the events people, is it? It's the musicians, it's the florists, it's the caterers, it's the staffing, it's everything.
Yeah, the whole supply chain has been really impacted with this. And, you know, you were saying about it, you know, all of the great things that we do as an industry to keep people safe. And, you know, hotels are some of the cleanest places you'll find.
Yes.
It's been quite, you know, from an operational perspective, you know, hotels have always tried to hide their cleaning and sanitation process. It would be overnight, so no one could see the, you know, housekeeping teams cleaning and doing all of that. Whereas now it's kind of on its head. We demonstrate and show all of the cleaning measures and so on. But you know, there was a recent, I think just this week, they reported on the airlines as well how safe. United did they did about 300 tests over 6 months on the safety of air travel and how likely you would be to catch COVID, and it's virtually non-existent. So I think that was a really positive message out there for the airline industry as well. And of course, that's so important and critically important to our business,
our industry, yes,
and to our industry, because, you know, we're in the face-to-face meetings business, and obviously travel is a key part of that.
Yes, and I did actually do a video last couple of weeks with Jacquie from All About Flights and Maris from Etihad, who I know you know very well. We all know each other very well because we travel together usually so often. And exactly that, you know, the flights and the hotels are probably more sanitized and clean than our actual homes or the shops that we go to. So we will all keep fighting, I think. And hopefully we'll both get to Miami next year, because I know it's one of our favourite destinations. And yes, following this winter, we're going to need a bit of sun anyway, aren't we? So
yeah, absolutely. I'm very much hoping that the international restrictions ease up. Obviously, my wife being from California and having family there as well, it's been tough not being able to see them as well. So yeah, very much waiting with anticipation.
Yes. We'll keep pushing, Pete. We'll keep pushing. So thank you so much. I always end all these interviews, you know, making my next drinking session date. So we'll put in May in Miami, but I hope it is before then.
Hope so, Jackie. Hope so. Thank you so much for having me today.
Oh, no, thank you.